Welcome to the Scientific Montessori podcast, where we translate the latest academic research into Montessori-aligned practices and share insights to make parenting dramatically easier. This episode brings you the audio version of our article, Good at Work, Good at Rest. To explore more articles, visit scientificmontessori.com.
This 6 to 12 article is titled Good at Work, Good at Rest. That's something you always talk about. Can you explain briefly what it means?
Resting is important. If you're not good at resting, you can't work for long, and you can't work efficiently. In other words, knowing where to ease off is part of becoming good at work. And mastering something means knowing where you can let go of effort.
Can you give an example?
Say there's a kid who's bad at throwing a ball. If you watch closely, they're tense the whole time. That keeps the arm from whipping properly. To throw far, you relax, then use force only at the very end. Basically, you stay loose.
By relaxing, you can harness centrifugal force.
Right. Figuring out how to produce results while staying relaxed is what you should really be thinking about when it comes to work.
I always thought Europeans were the ones thinking about work-life balance. In one study of over 35,000 people across 30 European countries, higher work-life balance was associated with higher work engagement, a positive, sustained psychological state combining vitality, dedication, and absorption in work. People who were relaxed in the sense of valuing time outside work were also good at their jobs.
Interesting. But if you can't do this, time is finite, and what you can accomplish in life is limited. What you choose to do matters.
The study also found that work-life balance varies by country, explained by welfare regimes, the characteristics of welfare policies and social security systems. Different countries, different patterns. In Japan, as kids, we dream of taking it easy, wanting to be YouTubers, for instance. But as adults, we feel like we have to push hard.
Right. Homework culture is part of the problem. It instills the wrong mindset.
True.
Homework is really terrible. You're forced to do something unnecessary even after going home, and you get scolded if you don't. Not a single kid actually wants to do homework.
Nobody does. We were thrilled when the teacher said, "No homework today."
That's the opposite of good work. Being forced to do something you don't want, getting yelled at if you don't, that's awful. It leads straight to overtime culture in adulthood. I'll take work home. What we should be training is finishing within the allotted time. There's a perfect game for this.
There is.
It's called Pikmin.
I played it as an elementary schooler, and I still love it.
I really want everyone to play Pikmin. It's work training dressed up as a game.
Get good at Pikmin, and you get faster at real-world work.
It's pretty intense training. Here's something most people don't know. There's a famous company called McKinsey, often called the world's hardest firm to get into. It's a consulting firm where only the elite of the elite are hired. A single day of consulting can cost 2 to 3 million yen, the equivalent of about $15,000 to $20,000. An unbelievable business world.
That's about $2,000 an hour. Wow.
Basically, they consult for major corporations everyone knows. New hires there spend 3 years being drilled on one thing.
What?
Preparation. The Japanese call it dandori, meaning advance preparation and planning. They're trained rigorously in dandori. Preparation means that to produce results within the time allowed, you have to get many things ready in advance.
Exactly.
Preparing materials, for example. Before making a proposal, you need to have read a lot of documents. Reading documents means working backward, identifying what you need to read, preparing in advance, and then performing at a high level and finishing on time during the actual consulting work. There's a contract, so you deliver results within that contract period. Otherwise, no one hires you again. At McKinsey, even young employees in their 20s earn tens of millions of yen a year, the equivalent of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the first thing they learn? Preparation.
Pikmin.
Exactly. That's what makes Pikmin amazing. A 7 or 8-year-old can learn what McKinsey's brightest spend 3 years mastering, practically for free, for the cost of about a $30 game, and play as much as they want.
And you can fail as many times as you like. No one yells at you, you don't get fired.
So if kids master Pikmin, they've unconsciously learned the essence of work. They absorb it without realizing. They naturally understand that work means preparing properly and moving forward step by step.
They can learn the essence of work through a game, starting in childhood.
And cooking is the same. If you cook regularly, you know cooking is preparation. If dinner is at 7, you get everything ready by then. 1 dish, 2 dishes, whatever you're making, it all has to be done by that time. It takes a lot of mental effort, so cooking is really good for the brain. Elderly people who cook maybe because they use their hands, maybe because of the mental planning, have lower rates of dementia.
Some medical institutions use cooking for rehabilitation, and a lot has been studied about cooking's effects. But most nutrition research focuses on what to eat. Studies that focus on the cooking process itself and show it contributes to brain function recovery are rare. Researchers at a Japanese university studied this, led by Dr. Kawashima, who's famous for designing Nintendo's brain age games. They measured the brains of people while cooking and found the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for planning and decision-making, was activated when participants planned menus. Further, tasks like planning the menu, cutting, stir-frying on a gas stove, and plating activated the brain more than simply moving the hands. In another study, retired elderly men who attended weekly cooking classes and cooked at home 5 days a week for 3 months showed improved prefrontal cortex function.
There's a funny phenomenon. Men who reach retirement age and never cooked before start cooking and get really into it. Soba noodles, for instance, a Japanese buckwheat noodle.
If only they'd done it during their working years.
Right? It would have helped their work, too. They might have climbed higher. Well, that's unsolicited advice. The point is, the essence of work is preparation. Coming back to our title, Good at Work, Good at Rest, what is preparation really? It's about how to create free time. If you're constantly focused on stir-frying or cutting, you can't do anything else. Good preparation means reducing time when you're tied up with one thing and running tasks in parallel. Make soup while you prep the salad. Chill the salad in the fridge so it's not lukewarm when served. Don't boil noodles first or they'll get soggy. Time them to finish right before eating.
Start the rice first.
Exactly. Rice takes time to cook and steam. Know how long water takes to boil. Prepare dashi, the Japanese soup stock, the day before. That's preparation.
Preparation.
Work is really a chain of preparations. Flip it around, and it's also about how you spend your rest. Becoming good at resting means being able to use time freely. Your time actually increases.
You get better at preparation, gain more free time, get better at using that free time, get better at preparation again, a virtuous cycle.
So the most important thing isn't just what you do, it's also what you don't do. Does this really need to be done? Reviewing that is crucial. But it's hard to do in elementary school. If a kid says, I don't see the point of this, so I'm not doing it, they get scolded. This class isn't relevant to me, so I'll study on my own. I'll go read in the library. Excuse me.
In college, that's allowed, even encouraged. If you already know the material, study something else.
Right, in college it's fine, it's totally self-directed. If you've got it, you don't have to show up. So for elementary students, the ideal environment is probably something like a university.
When you keep asking, does this really need to be done, you start wondering about exams and credentials too. Are they really necessary?
It's paradoxical, counterintuitive, but what everyone's really looking for isn't rest, it's work.
What do you mean?
People think they want endless vacation, but what they really want is work they can be absorbed in.
That kind of work is enjoyable.
Exactly. Doing nothing is actually quite hard. Boredom is hard. The brain craves stimulation. You want to do something. If you fill that void with noise, social media, gossip, your head becomes noisy. Thinking gets scattered. So you resist. Cut out the noise, rest properly, and then you'll want to work. Focus on work, get tired, rest properly. That cycle works for adults and children alike.
It'd be great if kids could do that from an early age.
Related to ages 6 to 12, in infancy, synapses in the brain spread and multiply rapidly. During 6 to 12, pruning is happening, and thinking can become scattered. Daily life may suffer.
In Montessori terms, the precise sense of order in 3 to 6, keeping things in exactly the same place, neat and tidy, gets internalized by 6 to 12. Externally, children realize, I don't have to be quite so particular.
Right. People say things get rougher, but it's more that children become more thinking-oriented. Imagination flourishes and they can set direction through thought.
Because order is internalized, this is when they get better at setting priorities and preparing.
Yeah. Cooking, cleaning, doing your own things for yourself, plus doing things for the family, for the community, for the team. Those are fundamental human needs, so it's good to create an environment that allows for them.
In regular school, those inner workings aren't assumed, so kids might be too tired to do them. At this stage, it's less practicing daily life and more living it. Maria Montessori said that at 3 to 6, children experience sensory differences among types of fabric, but at 6 to 12, they choose their own clothes based on fabric type and learn different ways to care for them.
I got sidetracked, so let me get back to the main point. As something other educators don't say, I want to emphasize the importance of rest. Not it's okay to rest sometimes, but learning never ends. The premise is fundamentally different. Finishing an elementary curriculum doesn't mean learning is complete. Learning has no end. And if learning has no end, swimming forever without coming up for air is exhausting. So you have to learn in bursts, with breaks. Otherwise, you just stop learning entirely. You give up.
I see. To put this into practice, I think we need a clear definition of rest. Is consuming noisy information on social media not resting, while reading a book or visiting a museum resting? What about playing games to unwind? What about playing Pikmin? Cooking? Are those all rest?
I define rest as minimizing noise entering the brain. You could also call it intentional living.
Intentional living. That takes effort, doesn't it? When you're tired, it seems impossible. That's rest? Though I do feel fulfilled when I set the table properly for tea time.
Right. Letting go, feeling lighter, being filled. It means consuming information carefully, too.
Careful information consumption. Like reading books. But if you're exhausted, you can't. Your eyes just slide off the page.
If you're that tired, your brain is exhausted, so you just have to sleep. But rest essentially means not being careless.
That's the opposite of normal thinking. I'm tired today, so let's do a lazy meal.
But then you use the time you saved scrolling on your phone. If you cut out phone time and other careless activities, real idle time appears and you can truly rest. For example, brewing a single cup of tea very carefully, actually doing something you might think is a waste of time. That's rest. Like the Zen expression, kisako, which simply means have some tea.
I'm starting to get it. Folding clothes properly, cleaning into the corners. Lately, I've been avoiding social media and doing those things, and I feel a strong urge to work.
Another way to put it, rest means using parts of your brain you don't usually use. Consciously engaging brain areas that aren't your usual ones. That's rest. Meanwhile, the parts you use for work get a break. People don't realize it, but the brain is active even during sleep.
That's a great definition. If you're on a computer all day, exercise becomes good rest. And what you said earlier, people want work more than rest, could be rephrased, they want real rest where the brain is engaged, not fake rest where the brain barely works.
Thank you for listening to the Scientific Montessori podcast. We hope today's episode helped you see how research and Montessori principles can make parenting simpler and more meaningful. For more articles and resources, visit scientificmontessori.com and join us again next time.